Welcome back, you guys, as we are here at Jive Turkey Sports Talk. All right, it is 7:30. It's Friday. It's going to be AFC and NFC divisional upset weekend. That's what we're calling it. All right, I've got my co-host with me. Let's be Frank. Hey, Frank.
Yo, man, I'm excited because we get to talk about a little bit about football, talk about our picks and how we did last week, and how we're predicting for this week's game. So I'm very excited about that, and I'm very excited about giving our Jive Turkey F for the team that failed the most last week, and we'll talk a little bit about that a little bit later. But which team got the F?
The F. The F is the thing. The Jive Turkey F is something we came up with as we finished the season. So, Frank, let's introduce our F. As we know, Dallas had the F last week because they lost to the Commanders. So, as we went into Super Wildcard Weekend, the F goes to
the Vikings. The Vikings earned the F, and this is a game that we called last week on this stream. We said the Vikings had the highest potential to have an upset on their home field because of factors that I used, which isn't scientific at all. I just used history as a guide for the Giants to be on the road in a neutral area, which wasn't a climate controlled area. They went in and took care of business, especially how the Vikings have played down the stretch. It wasn't hard to predict that the Vikings would mess this one up and actually lose. So there you go. The Vikings, you've earned it. You got the Jive Turkey F this week.
So, which game do you want to talk about first? You want to talk about AFC first, or we can go NFC first?
No, well, let's recap last week, and then let's recap last week so that way everybody know how we did on our picks, how we ended up, because we want you to compare, and we want you guys to predict as well in the comments of how you think each team is going to do next week. But first, we got to roll off of how we did last week because we got to stay consistent. We got to show you that we kind of know something about football and show you the receipts. So we're going to go in and dive in to our picks of last week.
So let's talk about the Dallas Cowboys against the Bucs.
Yes, I had this pick for the Bucs. It was the toughest decision I made last week on predictions as far as the games because the Bucs had not been very good. They shouldn't have even been in the playoffs, but they found themselves in the playoffs. And my thinking behind that was Dallas had been horrible down the stretch. I was like, okay, they got Tom Brady. Maybe we'll see some Tom Brady magic, and Dallas is going to somehow lose this playoff game because they haven't, won a playoff game since how long has it been? It's been a while.
It's been a while.
Yeah, it was like 20 years or something. It was something crazy like that. It was like VHS tapes. They were still not quite that bad, but it was the toughest one to pick. I picked the Bucs to win. I think you did as well. We both.
You convinced me.
I did convince you.
You convinced me because I was like, man, and I was like, well, and then you're like, well, Tom Brady magic, and I was like, well, I can't argue with Tom Brady magic. I've seen it too many times. I remember watching the 28-3 game against the Atlanta Falcons, and it kind of made me think about those things, and then how they almost beat the Philadelphia Eagles in the Super Bowl as well. Yeah. And so you kind of convinced me. All right.
Yeah. And even in that game, I remember Joe texted or Jive Turkey texted me. He's like, so what do you think? Where they at? I was like, well, I said it's only halftime. There's still time for some Tom Brady magic. I think I even texted you at fourth quarter. So I was like, it can still happen.
You're right. And it didn't. Dallas came in and Dallas handled business. And that is something that, Mike McCarthy has gotten a lot of slack for. They were the most penalized team last year. Going into this year, there have ups and downs. Quarterback consistent play wasn't there. Dak Prescott got injured early in the season. Cooper Rush comes in, bounces him out. People are talking about it. You got the Zeke and the Pollard situation going on. And then you roll into the playoffs with not hitting on all the cylinders, and Dallas was like, hey, we're here to play. We're going to go ahead and go. And they went in, and from the moment that whistle started, man, they were good. We all know Tom Brady does not do good with pressure.
Quarterback pressure, right. Yeah.
And it showed, and it continues to show that Dallas does have an elite defense, and when they're all clicking on all cylinders, it works. Only person I really felt bad for was Money Mayher, unfortunately, because they did bring in a kicker after he missed four field goals.
No, extra points.
Well, extra points, yeah.
That dude, one, okay, but you better not do it again. And he did 4 times in a row. I think Dallas or Jerry Jones had actually tweeted mid-game, if there anybody in the stands that could come down, we have a jersey if you can kick a field goal.
The brand didn't call you.
Oh, my goodness. All right, so next game up was the San Francisco 49ers versus the Seattle Seahawks, and I believe Jive Turkey and I both picked San Francisco for that game as well.
We did.
Yeah.
And the cool thing was because we texted back and forth on this one as the game was going on, and mid-quarter hit, and it was a 1-point game.
Mm-hmm.
And we're like, well, like we've talked about all season, and like I've expressed all season as you guys have followed me since October, is it was going to come down to coaching. We both said it. Like, hey, coaching is where third quarter really happens. And what Kyle Shanahan did, flipped the switch, made adjustments, and it was a blowout.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And this is, again, I highlighted this. I want to say it wasn't last week, the week before, I believe, where we talked about the quarterback. We talked about Purdy. And yep. I remember us talking about it, and I said, you weren't sold on him at the very beginning. You said there's no tape on him, et cetera, et cetera. Remember, we had this whole conversation. I said, I don't know. There's just something about this. And then we talked about the system. Was it the quarterback or was it the system that he was in? And I'm leaning a little bit more. I think there is a depth to Purdy that the league has overlooked. He has shown, I mentioned this last week, he has shown composure in the difficult moments of a game and not willing to allow the game to become bigger than what he is. And he has shown that in the last few games this week. I remember against the Raiders, he showed those nerves of steel, and of course against Seattle, which is a decent team still.
They're foes. They just played against each other 3 weeks ago.
Yep. Yeah. So to see them to be able to pull that game off, I think there is something about Purdy right now where I think we're going to see something special. And remember, during our first mock-up when we did the tree, who did I have coming out of the NFC? I had the San Francisco 49ers or the Buccaneers because of the Tom Brady magic, I said. Maybe
which went away.
Right, which went away. He didn't use. But San Francisco was the other team that I had that would be in the Super Bowl along with the Buffalo Bills. So So did you have anything to add to that game?
So the only thing is seeing Kyle Shanahan and the way he's able to coach that team and get them motivated, and definitely to see the halftime adjustments and just blow the team out of just take over like that. It says a lot about the team, but also says a lot about Brock Purdy. I was on tape and everybody can watch it. Yes, I was not sold on Brock Purdy, 100%. But what I have consistently have said and have stood on, it doesn't matter where you're drafted at. It's matter about what you do when you get the opportunity. Because everyone will talk about draft status. It's not about draft status. It's about what happens when you get in the lines and you put the work in and it's your time to shine. Either you're going to win or you're going to lose.
Yeah.
And Brock Purdy has shown that you can be that mystery relevant and be successful.
Right. Yeah. And really, again, I think we've been ahead of the curve on this entire thing. We've been ahead of the mainstream media in the sports world as far as calling, players and even things that we'll talk about a little bit later about coaching moves and personnel moves that we've been ahead of the curve. So again, if you're here, if you're watching this channel, if you're watching the Jive Turkey channel with me and Jive Turkey over here, you're going to have better information. Just our track record shows in the last 4 weeks that you're going to get from ESPN. And guess what? We're going to keep it focused in between the lines.
In between the lines, you guys. And I just want to show a real quick Guitar Tim. He just described just recently. He's talking about Jacksonville and the Giants. And like I've told, let's be frank, and we talked about it earlier last weekend, and I've already told everyone, I said, hey, if Jacksonville goes to the Super Bowl, you will see Jive Turkey there. I will be there, all right? Now, if they do make it to the AFC Championship game, I will be there. I will be there. All right. So next weekend, Friday, we might have to do something, but we'll figure it out. But if they make it, I will be there.
That's an interesting, and we'll talk about that once we get to the our predictions for next week and the playoff tree. And I have a couple of scenarios I want to float to you and see what you think about them.
Okay,
but we'll get there.
All right, so let's keep it moving then.
Next NFC game was the
Giants. No,
Giants.
Yeah, Giants and Vikings. I mean, we gave them the F. We gave Vikings the F, but let's talk about it. Let's recap it real quick. Daniel Jones, I saw that game. Daniel Jones played lights out, man. Daniel Jones played amazing. He played like the quarterback he was drafted at. Unfortunately, I hate using the term that, but like, you know, for a team to use him on a first round pick, you know, it says a lot about the player. But like we're continuing to see, which is player and coach. He finally has a competent coach. And you're seeing the growth within 1 year. You make the playoffs, bro?
Not only make the playoffs, you win your first playoff game.
Yes.
Yeah. And this is a game that Jive Turkey and I, again, once we both picked the Vikings, the Giants in this scenario, based on some of the stuff we talked about when we gave the Vikings the F, about why the Giants would win. And now they're going to go and see the Eagles. I don't have a whole lot more to say about this, but outside of, I think it was the Giants showing up and playing good, solid football, and the Vikings doing what they've done best down the stretch, find a way to lose it.
Yep, and we've seen that, and it's crazy because, you know, just a couple weeks ago when they played, when the Vikings played Buffalo, like Kirk Cousins balled out, and to do the check down like he did, that should have never happened. I mean, he probably thought in his head they're probably going to get the extra yards. You know, it's probably yak, which is yard after catch. You guys thought that, you know, he was going to make it, and you know you can't fault him for it. You know they have 2 to 3 seconds to make that decision, man. I mean, that's why they get paid millions of dollars. Yep. That's great. But I am looking super forward for the Giants and the Philly game. 1, because they're in the same division, which is awesome, and then 2, it is a big rivalry, and they don't have to travel far. They don't. So there's really no advantage to it. It's just who's going to show up and who's going to play better football and who's coaching better. And I think this is where we talk about coaching. It's going to come down to coaching.
Mm-hmm. Yep. No, I agree 100% with you on that. Next NFC game was.
That's it.
Oh, that was all of them. Okay.
Yep.
Great.
Let's roll over to the AFC. My favorite place.
We'll save the Jaguars for last because I got a lot to. I think we got a lot to say on the Jaguar game. There was a lot that happened in that game, so we'll save them for.
Yes. So let's start with the Dolphins and the Bills game. All right.
Okay.
Because you predicted the Bills to go to the Super Bowl.
Yes, I did.
You're already on record saying that.
Yep.
But let's talk about the Dolphins. Okay. The quarterback, they didn't really have a quarterback. You know, they're on a third string quarterback. They played lights out. They still played very well. So the system that they have, I think works, but I think the lack of health and just, you know, the back and forth with the concussion scenario that happened all season, you know, there's a lot of things that plagued the team, unfortunately, outside of the lines, unfortunately. And I think going on to next year, I think they're going to be a lot better. But I think they just need to tighten some things up. And just the Tua situation just, I think, overshadowed the team. And just like the concussion scenario, I think really drove that a lot for them. And then not health. Like we talk about health, Frank. Like it's rough. And but I can say that they played them hard. Mm-hmm. And you know the Bills were ready to roll.
They were ready to roll. And they did exactly what I said they were going to do. They were going to go in and get that win, get that W that they needed to get. They had no trouble of taking care of business. And that's why I said it was going to happen, even though it was being played in a neutral field. And they went in there to occur. I was not surprised. I didn't have, even when it looked like it was close, I still knew that the Bills were going to win. So, with that being said, let's move over to the next AFC game,
which was the Bengals.
Yeah, the Bengals and Ravens. This one was a little closer, and I think we said it would be a closer game. But because of being Lamar Jackson not being in there, we decided to go ahead and pick the Bengals in that situation. And the Bengals showed up and they took care of business again.
Yeah. I watched the whole game on that one there. I feel like Huntley played extremely well. They could have won that game. Baltimore, Huntley, there was a quarterback sneak at the 1 yard line, and he went over the top of the pile when I think he should have went through, is what was told. But I think if Huntley would have won, it puts pressure back on the quarterback scenario. Dobbs called out John Harbaugh's coaching. And then also too with the now not a lot of people know this, so I'm gonna go ahead and say it. And it was brought to my attention by one of my buddies. Lamar Jackson was not at the game. So let me think of Lamar Jackson was not at the game, and this is what I want to tell everybody. You want to be a franchise quarterback. You want to now, and I showed you the screenshot. They offered him $220 million, 170 of it guaranteed, and 120 of it once he's signed. Okay, so you're telling me that they don't believe in you? They're trying to give you a team-friendly deal so that they can go ahead and pay other players to keep better players around you. Now you just lost your offensive coordinator, Greg Roman, that gave you that unanimous MVP in 2019. Yeah. So now you have no MVP, or you don't have Lamar Jackson. They're going to franchise tag him, and you have no offensive coordinator, but the team's willing to give him say on who the next coordinator is going to be. Why should he get that decision?
Yeah, you're right.
You didn't show to the game to support your teammates. That's rule 101 in sports.
That's it. You got to be, if you're going to be a leader on a team, you got to be there. Regardless of your injury or your situation, you show up. Yeah. So and we talked about that would be a contributing factor. The locker room. We talked about the drama that was unfolding within the organization was going to impact the Baltimore Ravens, as the team would have to find a way to get over that hurdle as well, and also play a football game. So there was a lot of distractions going on, and ultimately that is why we had decided to pick the Bengals in that game.
Yep, totally agree with you.
Yeah,
totally agree with you. And Bengals did exactly what Bengals did. But here's the only problem with the Bengals right now is they've got a lot of injuries going into this week, unfortunately. So they lost their offensive tackle. They lost a wide receiver. They were down to their last 3 wide receivers. It's not looking good for the Bengals. So I'm curious to see what's going to look like this coming weekend for the Bengals. So, but I mean, Joe Burrow's going to figure it out. Joe Cool's going to figure it out.
Joe Cool. All right. Cool. So next game.
My favorite game out of them all.
Jacksonville.
This Jaguars. One right here. This one right here.
Jacksonville versus the Chargers. That's right. This was a game that I picked the Jaguars as well. So did Jive Turkey. He picked the Jaguars, and we talked about how it was going to the defense was going to have to make plays in order for this team to win this week, and it did. It wasn't looking very pretty right at the beginning. Oh man, I tuned in. I looked at the score. I was like, "Oh!" I texted,
"Help!"
So run us through this because this is your guy.
All right. So as everyone knows, I'm a lifelong Jaguars fan. All right. First off, all right. Second off, I've seen this team since inception. All right. This was a very emotional game for me. All right. I was super hyped going to the game, and I got friends texting me because they're at the game, and Trevor Lawrence first series throws an interception, and I'm like, what is going on? This is not good. This is not good. And then not one, not two, not three, but 4 interceptions and a fumble.
In the first half, right?
Yes. 5 turnovers. You're not supposed to win.
No, not at all.
No. And then I got everyone texting me. Everyone texting me during like halftime because they're up 27-7. Right? And I'm like, all right, cool. Check it. All right, we just scored. Defense just needs to hold on. Trevor Lawrence, Doug Peterson, you're going to do what you're going to do. You're going to get Trevor Lawrence under control, and you're going to figure this out. And this is exactly what happened. He threw for over 300 yards, 4 TDs, and won it. Drove him back down to win the game with a field goal. All right. It was epic. I was up till 2 o'clock in the morning. All right. I was tweeting. I was on it. And I had people calling me that were Kansas City fans and and I'm like, nah, player. Like, so to see the growth for Trevor Lawrence and like I've been saying about Doug Peterson, and I've been on record the whole season saying this, coaching matters between the quarterback, the team, and the message. Doug Peterson's calm and cool all the way through.
All the way through.
We're going to be all right. And look what happened. The team didn't give up. The defense bent, but it didn't break, and it made plays when it had to. You know, to hold a team when they had an interception and they're on the 6-yard line and they walk away with a field goal, that's a win.
Mm-hmm.
So I think a lot of people are underestimating Jacksonville and their defense and their tenacity and just the fact that they're willing just to win. There's no quit in that team, none whatsoever. You know, and that's their motto for this season is we're not done yet. And I'm cold-heartedly behind that. We're not done yet. And I've been saying it on Twitter. I've been on YouTube saying it because Doug Peterson has changed. Him and his staff have changed Jacksonville, have changed the organization, and have changed the players. And you can't say that he can't be coach of the year. He should be coach of the year. We were the worst team in the NFL last year. We had the number 1 pick.
Yeah. No, and you said this the other day. All they needed was the adult in the room to be able to do the adult thing. And what Doug Peterson has done with the Jacksonville Jaguars, you've mentioned it, but he's changing the culture in that organization into a winner mentality culture. Because a lot of times, you know, organizations are okay basically with losing. And that's the message that is sent all the way through the organization. We're like, well, you know, we're of course we didn't make the playoffs. We're the Browns or whatever, right? And we're never expected to make the playoffs. So why are we even, you know? So it's built in. What Doug Peterson's right now doing with the Jaguars is what many of those types of coaches have been able to do in past organizations where they win championships and are regularly in the playoffs, always able to, if they get to the dance, anything can happen then. And so what he's been able to do with that team, with that locker room, with that personnel, with the front office and everything else that goes along, because it all plays together, is been able to change that culture into a winning culture and a scrappy culture. We're going to fight for everything we get. So
exactly, and you hit it right on the head. And I think, you know, there's a video circling around, which is Doug Peterson giving his introduction to the team when he got there, and he tells them, "I expect to be playing in January and February." From the moment he arrived, he gave them what the standard was, which was we're playing in January and in February, which means that team knows he's got a ring.
Yeah.
And he knows how to win. And he won with a backup quarterback against Tom Brady.
Yep. In other words, don't make vacation plans for January, February, because I plan on continuing to work.
Yes, 100%.
So, all right. So how do we do with our picks? I believe we were, 5-1?
5-1. And the only reason why is because you convinced me to take Tampa. 5-1, ladies and gentlemen. If you guys are out there, let us know what you guys score are, because that's what mine and Let's Be Frank are here. We're 5-1. All right, let us know down in the comments on who or how your picks turned out, because you know, we're keeping score here. That's what we do here. We keep score.
We do keep score. All right, so let's go ahead and start talking about next week's games. We got a few games to talk about here. Let's go ahead and start in the we're going to start in the NFC. Okay, let's start in the NFC then. Dallas and San Fran. This is a rematch from last year, and same thing, divisional round as well. Divisional round, 49ers end up winning this in Dallas last year. Went to Dallas, won mostly through defense and smart play calling. Jimmy Garoppolo was still dealing with a shoulder injury during that game. So his range was not very, very good. And they were able to get out of Dallas with a W, shocking Dallas fans in Dallas. The videos and the memes that came out of that game were so good. So what we have here is a rematch of last year, and don't you not think that Dallas doesn't remember being embarrassed in their own house last year? And so now they have an opportunity to go to San Fran. They got to go play in San Francisco. The only difference this year is quarterback and what I believe is a more ferocious defense than they had last year. And it's going to be quite a battle, I believe. This game, I believe, will go down to the last possession. And I believe it's going to go San Francisco's way because Brock Purdy is going to drive him down for the game-winning field goal. That's my prediction. Niners by 3.
Niners by 3. That's B. Frank is saying. You better put it on there. That's what he said. All right. Dallas, San Francisco. All right. First off, I want to say this game right here has the most expensive ticket currently right now at over $500 to get to the game.
Wow.
Yeah, that's a lot. 500. So that's first off. I mean, you got two iconic franchises. You got the Dallas Cowboys and the San Francisco 49ers. All right. So I think if Dallas can replicate the way they played last week against Tampa, but we all know Tampa doesn't have a great offensive line. If Micah can get to Brock Purdy and just hit him, let the defense hit him a couple times, I think we might see a different Brock Purdy after he gets hit a couple times. So I'm going to use the Tom Brady analogy here. Like, I mean, he doesn't get hit much. He really doesn't. Mm-hmm. So I think this will be the best defense San Francisco's seen at least in the past 4 weeks.
Right. I agree.
So with that, and Dallas is really good at taking away the ball. So, and the only thing that I could see benefiting San Francisco is they've had more prep time, and Kyle Shanahan knows how to run a team and he knows how to do his scouting. So, I'm going to go with Dallas on this. I think Dallas is on this road, and I think Mike McCarthy has something to prove due to the fact because remember he left Aaron Rodgers. Remember he won the Super Bowl in Green Bay, left, took a break, and now he's in. So it's almost like they got to figure out who won the divorce. Kind of like how we all know that Tom Brady won the divorce against Bill Belichick. Yeah. Now it's like them two because Aaron Rodgers cares more about MVPs apparently compared to Super Bowls. So
racking them up.
Yeah, it's that analogy there. So I think I'm going to go with McCarty on this. I think McCarty's doing a good job with Dak. Dak bounced back really, really well, and he played lights out. He did. He took care of the ball. He made some very impressive throws. Very impressive throws. So if they can continue to do what they do, I think it's going to be a close game. But I think Dallas can win it. Only without a field goal. They have to win by a touchdown.
All right, so you got them by a touchdown done.
By a touchdown, by 7. Bank it.
By 7. Banking it now. All right. So there you have it. So let us know in the comments down below who do you guys think is going to win on the San Francisco 49er versus Dallas game. Give me some score predictions in the comment section and let me know what you guys think. All right, next game up.
Giants and the Eagles.
Oof.
Now, this one here has one history. You got two iconic franchises with the Giants and Philly. You have two rookie coaches still. You've got, Jalen Hurts is not completely healthy yet. And then their defense hasn't been playing as well, but they had a first-round bye, so, that could really help them when it comes to prepping. So you could see Jalen Hurts and A.J. Brown go for like 3 touchdowns, or you could see no touchdowns by the Philadelphia Eagles. But I think the Giants have a better team. I think Giants are better coached. I think Saquon Barkley really wants to make it to the Super Bowl, obviously, because, he was a first-round draft pick. I believe Daniel Jones, Daniel Jones is still trying to prove for relevance and shows that he's a quality quarterback. He comes from that Manning Eli Manning tree of college coaching, quarterback style. So I think there's still a lot of bit of pressure on that. I'm gonna go with Giants. Giants by 1.
Giants by 1. All right. Let's see here. With the I'm going to go with Giants, and this is why. I'm picking the Giants as well on this in this thing, and I think the Giants win more than by 1. I think they win by a touchdown.
Why is that?
I'm going to tell you, my dear friend. This is why they're going to win. Philly has beaten them twice this season. I've told you, it's tough to beat, especially a division rival, 3 times in 1 year. Jalen Hurts not 100% coming back. He's been out now for how many games? When's the last time he played?
3 weeks ago.
3 weeks. He has not played an NFL game in 3 weeks. He's going to come in and he's going to face a tremendous pass rush. He's going to get beat up. I think he's going to make some decisions, some mistakes. It's going to be some turnovers, and the Giants are going to capitalize. They're going to grind that clock with Barkley on the ground, and Jacob. That's quarterback thing. Jacob's
Jones.
Yes, thank you. Jones is going to make some smart plays with the football, and I do not see the Eagles being able to overcome this, and they're going to get out. They're going to squeak out of Philadelphia with a touchdown win against the Eagles. So I got the Giants as well.
Who do you think is going to have the ball at the last second, or the last?
Giants has the ball the last 4 minutes of the game. They run the clock out.
Okay, so what you're telling me is that they're going to use Saquon Barkley to really control the clock and keep Jalen Hurts on the bench.
Yep.
I think it's a smart move due to the fact because, A.J. Brown and him have a great connection. They can score very fast. So I think you're right. If they can get that ball running very well, I think they're going to, take it and go to the NFC Championship game.
Yep. I agree. All right, next up.
We're going to go to this one because I'm going to save my team for last.
All right, Bills Bengals. Bills Bengals, I believe this is a neutral site as well, is it not?
Yes.
Yes. Do we know where it's being played?
I can tell you right now. Give me 2 seconds if you want to go and give me an infomercial.
Yeah, sure. If you guys have not already done so, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button here at Drive Turkey. Help this channel continue to grow. Our goal is to hopefully get to 200 subscribers before the end of the month, and we need you to do it. Doesn't cost you a dime, doesn't cost you anything outside of you just hitting that button, hit subscribe, hit that like button on the way in as well to help continue to feed the algorithm so this way this video can show up in other people's feeds and they can weigh in on who they think is going to go to the Super Bowl, who they think the upsets are going to be. So let me know in the comments down below as you guys are coming in and being part of tonight's show. You're still looking.
So it's Highmark Stadium in New York.
Highmark Stadium, New York.
Yeah.
So they're playing the Giant Stadium or the Jet Stadium?
Mm.
Or they share a stadium, don't they?
The Jets and Giants share a stadium.
So that must be that. That must be the stadium they're playing.
Yeah, that's I just looked at tickets just now.
Dude,
if anybody wants to go, the lowest ticket's $119.
Nice. So Bills, Bengals. I'm going with the Bills. Obviously, going with the Bills. That was my pick already. Before the playoffs even started. That was my pick now.
Yep.
And I'm going with Bills. It's in New York. That's home field advantage. That's why it would be home field advantage for the Bills Mafia. Bills Mafia is going to invade that stadium. They're going to be smashing fans through the tables outside while tailgating. That place is going to be wild. That place is going to be wild. Still running on the emotion from DeMar Hamlin coming back from injury, coming back from that scary scene that we saw on Monday Night Football that night, and being there, supporting his team, and they're going to rally around that. They're going to go in, and they're going to punch the Bengals in the mouth at the very beginning, first quarter, and the Bengals aren't going to be able to come back. They will be stumbled. It will be a competitive game. It's not going to be a huge blowout, but the Bills will control this game from start to finish. Bills by 7.
Okay. So like we talked about, these are division rivals. Or not division rivals, excuse me, but they're conference rivals. But, everyone knows Joe Burrow, Josh Allen, I'm gonna go with Cincinnati on this.
All right.
And here's why. Josh Allen hasn't been playing the greatest lately. He's ever since he lost his offensive coordinator, he's regressed. And they don't have a running game. You guys use Josh Allen as your runner. Like, you guys need to be smarter with this. Like, but I can kind of concur with you on the fact that, like, Damar Hamlin has been around the stadium every single day, so they are feeding off that, just him being around, that energy. So, that gives them, that extra motivation, that extra push that we talk about. But you can never count out Joe Burrow. He's the AFC champion until someone knocks him out. I mean, no matter where you're playing at.
I mean, Josh Allen.
I mean, we'll see. We shall see. If you're out there, let us know who you think is going to lose against or win against the Bills and Bengals. But I'm going to go with the Bengals because I definitely want to see the Bengals play the Jacksonville Jaguars. That's just me personally. But I think it'd be a good game. But between the Bills and Bengals, Joe Burrow can't turn the ball over. Nope, he cannot turn the ball over. If he turns the ball over, it's going to be the Bills all day long. Because just like how the Bengals beat the Baltimore Ravens on that turnover, that's the same thing that can happen to Joe Burrow. But we know he can take care of the ball. But I mean, I just think it's gonna be a close game. It's gonna be a close game. Super high emotions due to the fact because they didn't get to finish, week 17. I think there's some bad blood between that, honestly, because if you really think about it, you have two teams that missed 2 games. Bills Mafia, really. Evelyn, thank you. But if you think about it, how do you think both those teams feel right now, knowing that they missed 2 games and they could have potentially been the number 1 seed?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm sure there is a little bit of bad blood there. However, again, I tell you, the storyline is too great. I'm going with that. Storyline is too great. We're going to see the Cinderella story all the way through.
Okay. So you've got let's be frank with the Bills and the Bengals over here with JT.
That's 2 games already. We have we're
divided on.
Yeah,
divided on. So, is there anything else you want to hit on the Bengals?
I don't know. One of us is going to come in with a little bit more swagger next week than the other one is.
Oh,
that's all I'm saying.
You are right, though. 100% right. Someone's going to come in with their head held high, and someone's going to be like,
So I really sucked last week.
If you're out there, let us know who you guys think's going to win this game there. Put them in the comments. Hit that like button. All right. We got the game of the week that everyone has been talking about. Everyone has been talking about this game, about David versus Goliath, as people have been saying, because you got Patrick Mahomes, Super Bowl MVP of the league, over 5,000 yards. You got Andy Reid, the genius he is, and you have his pupil, which is Doug Peterson, that played under him, that coached under him, and now he's got his own team. And he's got that scrappy team from Duval County. And I'm super excited for this game due to the fact because I did do a video on this game when we lost 17-27, and I told everyone that we beat ourselves at the game. That was before Trevor Lawrence went into before we went to the Ravens to go play them, and we beat them. I knew they were on the right track. They just needed to put a couple more drives together, over some issues there. But this game, I told you this last week, Frank, I was really excited for this game, and I know I was kind of looking past it. I was kind of doing the Dallas Cowboys thing, kind of looking past the Chargers, and I was wanting this game so bad. And the reason why is because, everyone's counted out Trevor Lawrence, early in the season, Doug Peterson. People keep saying Jacksonville's not a good team. What do you mean Jacksonville's not a good team? We're in the playoffs. We won our division. My division sucked. So did the NFC South. And you guys had nothing but praise to say about Tom Brady, and he got his butt kicked, okay? Trevor Lawrence came in and went to Waffle House after he won. I'm totally cool with that. All right? But I think this game right here, like we both said, is going to come down to coaching, kind of like what the Shaq said. You got to beat in order to be the Kung Fu Master, you got to beat the Master.
Yeah.
So I really think Doug Peterson is going to put a really good team together and a good play calling together, and it's going to be close. But I think we're going to win by field goal again. It's going to be close.
This is a tough game to analyze as far as for me to look at this because, again, Jacksonville's been hot. They've been
6 games.
Yeah, they've been winning the games they need to win. They haven't lost the games. They haven't shot themselves in the foot to lose games. Even though last week could have been very, very different with the 5 turnovers.
Yes.
Jacksonville's going into a hostile Kansas City stadium. We know how crazy Kansas City fans are. We know how crazy Arrowhead is. And you mentioned Andy Reid. Andy Reid has a game plan. He knows Doug Peterson. He mentored Doug Peterson. He knows how Doug Peterson thinks. They saw each other earlier in the year. Kansas City took that game. Now we got Jacksonville heading to Kansas City into playoffs, second round. Kansas City had the last week off. Man, tough game to choose. I'm actually going to go ahead and choose Kansas City in this, only because in our first initial draft of the playoff tree, I had Kansas City in the Bills rematch in the AFC Championship. If you remember
I did
correctly.
not.
I know you did not. I want Jacksonville to win. I really, really do want Jacksonville to win. I do. However, I don't see them winning, and I'll eat crow. I'll give myself the F next week if Jacksonville pulls this out, but I don't see it. I see Kansas City winning. Not a runaway game, but a 2-digit game, probably win by 10 to 14 points. But it won't be decided until the fourth quarter. Something's going to happen in the fourth quarter where a breakdown will happen, a turnover. Something's going to happen, which will give Kansas City the edge they need to hold off any Jacksonville a comeback. That's what I see happening in the Kansas City game. I got Kansas City by 10.
Okay, and now the only thing I think they're gonna really have to watch out for is that Zay Jones and Trevor Lawrence connection on how fast they can connect as fast as they can. You know, they had a 35-yard touchdown against the Chargers, and they've proven that time and time again. He's done it 2-point conversion. He's done the scoring touchdown at against the Ravens, against the Cowboys. Like, dude, Zay Jones is immaculate. Christian Kirk, great guy. You know, Ethan. I mean, dude, Evan Ingram was a huge pickup from the Giants. I want to thank Giants fans for giving us Ingram because he has rejuvenated himself, and he looks like the first round pick that he got selected as.
Yeah, so, he does. He looks real good. He does. I've been very impressed in how he's played. Again, I really want to see Jacksonville win, but I just don't see it. I see Kansas City win unless Patrick Mahomes' cringy brother goes out and makes some more cringy TikToks. Then I might have to give it to Jacksonville.
Oh, hey, if anyone knows Kansas City's Patrick Mahomes' brother's TikTok, put it down in the comments so we can check him out and hit him up and say, hey man, we need to make some crazy TikToks. All right. but I think this is to me, I think this game has more value than the Bengals and Bills game, just due to the fact because Bills and Bengals, we've seen them before, but you're talking about Jacksonville, an up and coming team with a star-studded, a lot of first-round picks, man, a lot of talent on the team. And they're making a lot of noise, and everyone's been counting them out. I mean, dude, when you're 2-6, yeah, I would count them out too. But guess what? I stayed the ship. I kept going. I kept trucking along. I still rock Jacksonville every day, twice on Sunday. All right, but man, I'm just excited to see Jacksonville back in the playoffs because it's good for TV. It's good for the franchise, but it's also good for the NFL.
Yeah, they deserve a lot of credit. And not taking away from Jacksonville. I think Jacksonville has really shown the naysayers in the league and in the sports media that they are a serious team that should be respected among other teams. And with that being said, it's very sad for me to have to see Jacksonville have to play games overseas instead of playing them at home. In front of their fans. Their fans deserve in Jacksonville to see their team play 8 times a year versus 7 or 6 times a year.
Right, because you get the bye week now too on top of that. So yeah, right. I mean those ticket prices, hey man. So, but if drop those comments on who you guys think is going to win against Jacksonville and Kansas City, because I think it's going to be a really good game. I think it's going to be a close game. But let's be frank, said I think it's he said it might come down to 10 points. It's going to be down in the fourth quarter, which is that's a good football team if you really think about it. Your fourth quarter, that's how that's going to go.
Yeah, and that's what I see. So this is the playoff picture here. Let's go going to pull it up on the screen here for us.
Okay.
So here we have, and enlarge that just a little bit for us to look at. So we get Kansas City and Jacksonville here. Winner advances to the AFC Championship. Bengals, Bills, same thing down here. They advance to the AFC Championship. Got Dallas, San Fran. The winner advances to the NFC Championship, and Eagles, Giants. So right now, with my playoff tree, what I have here is I have the Eagles losing here, Giants moving on, Dallas losing, Niners moving on here, Bills winning, moving on here, and of course I have on this. Even though I would love to see Jacksonville, I have Kansas City and have the rematch of Buffalo and Kansas City in that, and then from that. Bills make it to the Super Bowl, and the Niners make it to the Super Bowl. And also, just to add to that point, if that scenario plays out, it will be the 9th time that the Giants and the 49ers meet in the playoffs. It's the same amount of times they've met the Dallas Cowboys in the playoffs. So that could happen this year, where we see them match up against these two old rivals a couple more times. According to Jive Turkey here, we have Jacksonville advancing to there. We have the Bengals advancing, so it would be a Bengals-Jacksonville AFC Championship game. He also has New York and Dallas.
Dallas.
So yeah, New York. So it'll be another NFC East rival game. That will be taking place there.
And it'll be in Dallas then. That game right there would be in Dallas.
Correct. Yep. And this game against the Giants and Niners would be in San Fran. By the way, if that scenario plays out the way I said it would.
Okay.
So now, this is the question I have for you.
Okay.
With Jacksonville in your scenario advancing, and either of the Bills or Bengals both advance, it wouldn't matter. Would that have to be held at a neutral site?
No, due to the fact because of them not reaching the AFC Championship. So what was supposed to happen was they were supposed to meet in the AFC Championship game, but due to the fact of how Week 18 and then how the wild card, because if Baltimore would have won, Baltimore would have came to Jacksonville, then Jacksonville would have had a second home game, and Jacksonville wouldn't have had to play Kansas City actually this week.
Okay, but if the way it plays out, say for your example here, Jacksonville wins and either of these teams win, where does Jacksonville play? Do they host a home game, or does the Bills or Bengals host the neutral site, or they actually host in their stadium?
So that's the only question, and I think that's a great question because wouldn't it be the person that won the division, their division?
I would think so, right?
Yeah, so it'd be Jacksonville and in the AFC going home to Jacksonville.
What was Jacksonville's ranking?
We're the lower seed. Sorry, no, we're the lower seed.
Yeah,
we're the 7 seed.
Okay.
So we would go to Cincinnati to go play, which is fine.
Right.
Which is fine. They're both two small market teams. They're not big market teams, obviously. I think it'd be good for the NFL to have that. But I think it would be super cool because you would have, Joe Burrow, that just went to the Super Bowl, and then you've got Trevor Lawrence. And like we said, I think it'd come down to coaching, and I think, just look at what Doug Peterson has done time and time and time again, man. Like, it's really hard to really see that.
Yeah, Evelyn says here, I listened to your conversation, and it's hard to call it when you have two good teams going against each other, but I'll have to go along with Frank with Kansas City. And then Evelyn just mentioned Highmark Stadium is in Buffalo.
Okay. Well, there we go. So yeah, there we go. Evelyn, thank you so much for clearing it up for us. We greatly appreciate that.
Thank you. Yes, absolutely.
So, because me and let's be frank, hey man, we're just avid fans, and we just want to make sure that everyone understands that this channel is all about sports, nothing else. That is all we are talking about in between the lines. All right. So with this one here, I think if Jacksonville ends up playing the Bengals, I think it would be really close. I think it'd be really close. I don't want to be the homer, but I think if Jacksonville has the ball, then it's going to be close. But if Joe Burrow has the ball, then I'm going to need that defense to do something. But the Bengals could win. Now, if we play Buffalo, bro, I don't know, man. Like I don't think that's gonna I don't think it's farewell for us.
Yeah.
I'm just being honest. Like I just don't. I don't see us beating Buffalo.
Mm-hmm.
I don't. Unless we get to Josh Allen and we get 2 picks, then I think that's the only way we win.
Yeah.
But if we end up playing them, you're in Buffalo.
Mm-hmm.
You're in Buffalo, bro. Like I'm not dumb. Like seriously, like that fan base is just outrageously amazing to see. So I think Buffalo would win then.
Yeah.
So then it'd be Buffalo, and then Buffalo would possibly win championship, of course, which every Buffalo fan would.
Who would you have coming out of the NFC then? Would you have the Cowboys or the Giants? Because in your scenario, you have the Giants beating the Eagles.
Man, that would be Dallas.
Dallas. In either case, by the way, just for you history buffs out there, it would be a rematch of the 90s Super Bowl, either against the Bills or Giants or Bills and Dallas.
Wow. Look at that.
Yeah, 1990, the Bills lost to the Giants in their first Super Bowl by 1 point. Wide right was the Norfolk, I think, was the kicker, and he shanked it to the side. And then they played Dallas that following year and was blown out by them. And then they played them again, and they weren't blown out as bad that year, but they still lost. And then somewhere in there, they lost to the Redskins too. So they lost to all the NFC East teams in their 4 Super Bowl attempts.
So that would be kind of cool actually to kind of see, and I think there'd be a lot of history because those are historic franchises. And Jacksonville's only 27 years old. We're still a young franchise still, so we're barely old enough to drink. So at that rate, I mean, our car insurance just came down. So, with that saying, I think it'd be a super cool thing. It would be second time. It'd be second time in 5 years that Jacksonville would have made it to the AFC Championship game. Being 12 minutes away from winning, going to Super Bowl against back in 2017, 2018. But I think this year is a little bit more special due to the fact is we don't really have any Pro Bowlers on the team, and we actually have a competent head coach, and we also have a very competent quarterback. I mean, Blake Bortles was great, but he's not Trevor Lawrence, bro.
Yeah. Scott Norwood. Yeah, that was the kicker in the Giants game. Yep. Thank you, Evelyn. Evelyn's all over it.
Man, Evelyn is on it today, man. That is awesome. Evelyn, I want to thank you, and I want to thank everyone that's been watching, and I definitely want to keep this going. I think we're doing well. Let us know, you guys' picks for the week. Let us know, this weekend. We got Jacksonville up first, so I'm going to either be crying or I'm going to be like, woo, all over Twitter and on YouTube.
So which games are on Saturday?
Jacksonville's up first
at
4.
At 4, and then
4:15. I'll tell you right now. Let me go back to the thingy real quick. So Jacksonville plays at 4:30 on Saturday, and then you have the Giants and Eagles at 8:15 on Saturday, you guys. And then on Sunday, you've got Bills and Bengals at 3 o'clock, and then you've got the Cowboys and Niners at 6:30. So head down to our community pages. We'll be putting up posts. I know I'll be putting up some posts. Let us know what you guys think. If you guys want to make fun of me if Jacksonville loses, go right ahead. I'm used to it by now. All right, you're not gonna hurt my feelings. But definitely keep your picks up. Definitely keep your picks for the AFC and the NFC. Definitely drop them in the in the comments in the community pages on the Twitter page. And definitely let us know what you guys think. I am always on Twitter during the games. Always tweeting. Let's Be Frank will definitely let you know I am on there ferociously during the game, giving my thoughts.
Yeah. And real quick, I just wanted to give an update. Last week we covered the Peyton Hillis story about him almost dying, trying to save his children. And the thing, he has been released from the hospital, by the way. He has made a good recovery. So for all of you guys out there that were kind of following that story, it's a good, happy ending for Peyton Hillis. So that's fantastic for him and his family.
But the only thing I want to cover on that, though, I'm really mad with it did not get the national media coverage that it should have.
No, it didn't.
So if you guys are out there and you guys are watching this, tag Peyton Hillis, tag anybody you possibly can and share that with them. Because you know what? Because I know I blew that story up on Twitter. I knew I blew it up on YouTube. For a man, a father, and, as we all are, or if you're not, if you have a family member like that, you're going to do what you got to do to save your child. And for him to get released from the hospital, I think is awesome.
Yeah. That's a great update. I was happy to see it. And so the last 5 minutes here that we got left, any surprises that we should be looking for this week? What do you think? Any surprises? Just random surprises, not a win or loss. Is there anything that would surprise you if you saw it happen?
Yes, and I've been talking about this, and I've kind of been like tweeting about it here and there. Greg Roman goes to Chicago.
Oh, interesting.
As the offensive coordinator.
Yeah.
So think about it this way: how national media is talking, and everyone knows this. National media is talking about doing a possible trade of Lamar Jackson to Chicago. I think if Greg Roman goes and gets hired by the Bears, you're going to see a different Justin Fields next season.
Greg says he's picked New York over Philly, and he's going Dallas over San Fran.
Okay, Greg. Greg, remember to hit that subscribe button.
Yeah, if he has already. Yeah, Greg.
Yes.
Absolutely, man. Hey, congratulations. I know your wife is pregnant. Hopefully you guys will have a good delivery here very soon. His wife's expecting. So.
Oh, Greg, definitely. If you got an Amazon, what's it called? The baby thing. You know what I'm talking about? Baby registry.
Yeah.
Baby registry. If you got a baby registry, hit me up on Twitter.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. Man. Yeah, I didn't have baby registries when I was having babies.
Yeah, me neither.
Hey, Linda Hayes.
Hey, Linda.
Great that you made it back. We're wrapping up right now. The only thing I see surprise from this weekend coming up, I actually have two surprises. Well, one, San Francisco is in the talks with possibly bringing Vic Fangio back to the organization as defensive coordinator next season.
Whoa.
Yeah, that dude was a monster on Jim Harbaugh's coaching staff and had a lights out defense. That dude knows how to run defensive schemes. So that would be exciting to see if that actually plays out.
Hold on one second. JJ Jets fan here says, "Hey, buddy. Hey, just want to say hi to you." Yes, I do. Yes. So, go ahead to your second block there.
And the second block is, don't be surprised if you see Dallas kicker miss another extra point this weekend.
Okay, so hold on. On the Dallas kicker, they signed a new kicker. So are we going to see Matt Maher, or are we going to see a new kicker?
We're going to see Matt Maher. They're not going to go a new kicker in a playoff game like this.
Are you sure?
Yeah. They brought in the new kicker to put heat on Mike Mayer. They brought in a new kicker to bring on the heat, saying, "Hey, you're done. But he's going to miss one anyway. Watch it.
Is it a game winner?
No, it won't be a game winner. It will be somewhere in the game.
That would be pretty epic. I'm not going to lie. Even though, like
they drove down, they're down by a touchdown, they're down by 7 points, and they go down, and all they got to do is kick the extra point to tie it, send it to OT, and they miss it.
Exactly. That would be the Dallas way.
That would be like Tony Romo catching the snap to set the kick up and mishandling it and trying to run it in and getting tackled. Remember that?
Yes.
The Seahawks.
Yes. That's what we're looking for. So, as we finish up here, I want to thank everyone that joined us tonight. Make sure to hit that subscribe button, that like button, that share button, you guys. If you're on Twitter, you can follow me on Twitter. You can follow me on YouTube. Thanks, Jetta's Fans Club. I appreciate the love like always. Watch for those Fs. Remember who we got for those Fs. And just a friendly reminder for over next week, my content's gonna be a little spotty. I've got some things going on, so just be patient with me. But let's be frank. Where can they find you again?
Type in "Let's Be Frank" and you'll find me. I swear. Put it in Twitter, put it in over on YouTube, and you'll find me. But what I really want to try to highlight is my Let's Be Frank Culture channel.
There you go.
Check out Let's Be Frank Culture. It's a channel where I cover entertainment, which is including movies, TV, the ongoings of actors or actresses, things that they're doing or stuff or not doing, or just the vibe of what's happening coming out there, even video games as well. So all that's being covered over there on Let's Be Frank Culture. I took the week off from over there because I wanted to work on a few things to kind of tighten up some things how I present over there. But look for it starting next week. A new video should be up every day next week. So,
okay. Well, like I said, you guys, I appreciate all the support. I appreciate everything you guys are doing. Remember, we're trying to hit 100. Remember, we're trying to hit 200 subscribes by the end of the month. So if you know a buddy, you know a friend, show them the content, tell them to like the content, subscribe to the content. If you subscribe to the content, hit me up. Let me know. Remember, I love interacting with every single one of you guys. Yes, I might be on the phone all the time, but I will interact. Might be a little late. I'll work on it. Frank, you got anything else for the crew before we sign off here?
Bills Mafia!
Oh, Bills Mafia. Oh, no. All right. As I am, JT Jive Turkey here. Go Jaguars, 4:15. Don't miss it. Have a good night, you guys.